What's up, guys? I'm Tim Geddes. This is the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi.
Now, Nick,
Yes.
Disney hired us.
They did.
They hired me and you.
Yes.
To be the stars of the Disney Emoji Blitz commercial.
Yes, they
so we
did.
decided we're going to make a little vlog of our adventure down to LA.
Yeah, we wanted to show a little bit of the process of what goes into making a commercial of that magnitude, and it was really, really fun.
We spent 2 days down there.
We did.
1 day was just wardrobe fitting, trying things on.
Yeah, they flew us in a day early to actually do the wardrobe fitting, kind of pick which character was going to wear what. We went down there. The director was there, the producers were there, the agency was there, the client was there, and everyone got to look at us in various different color combinations, which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
It's like I walked into the wardrobe room, right, and I was like, there was like 50 different colors of the same thing, and I'm like, this is heaven.
This is heaven.
This is what I want my actual closet to look like.
I want to live in this rainbow.
I do.
So yeah, we went down, and the idea of the commercial is that I am the Disney Emoji Blitz champion,
Right.
and you are the challenger.
Which makes sense because you are a current kind of funny champion right now.
true.
Spoilers, and I am what a lot of people are saying, the #1 contender.
The challenger.
A lot of people are saying that I should probably have the belt too.
So we started our whole adventure off by going to the airport,
Yes.
obviously, to the beautiful SFO,
went from SFO to Burbank on Southwest Airlines.
which, as everyone knows, is pandemonium.
It was chaos.
It's just you just go on and you don't get a seat assignment, and it's just like first come, first serve.
Yeah, the thing about Southwest that people don't know if you don't fly a lot is most normal airlines give you a seat assignment. Southwest gives you a spot in a line, and once you go through that line, they take your ticket, and it is every person for themselves. It is Thunderdome.
It's
on
Thunderdome.
that plane.
We had a pretty good experience though, because it
We
was
had a
so
great- actually,
early
we had a
in the
great
morning that there was no one there.
Half
so
full.
half the plane, it was it was the opposite of slim pickings.
Yeah.
There was pickings left and right.
Yeah.
And then when we landed, we got to do that cool thing where we got off like rock stars.
love that.
Where it lands, it's like, what's it called, the tarmac?
Yeah, we land on the tarmac, and you actually get off the plane,
put the
via
stairs down.
and you feel just like James Bond in like the midway through Casino Royale.
Yeah.
where he walks off and he like fixes his cufflinks, except we don't have cufflinks or wear them.
No. And then from there, we Ubered straight from. So we landed in Burbank.
Right.
The
Landed in
Bob
Burbank.
Hope
Bob Hope
Airport.
yeah.
Then I always thought that was a joke. No,
love-
that's actually what it's called.
I love the Bob Hope Airport because the Burbank Airport, people don't call it Bob Hope, they call it Burbank. But I like the Burbank Airport because it feels like a set from a TV show. Like there have been times when I've gone through the security there where it's been me, 2 other people, a line about as long as this table of like a stanchion, and then 1 security guard that looks like he came straight from central casting.
Yeah.
And I love it. And then you're just through it in 5 seconds.
Well, and also that's the funny thing is like everyone in LA is in production somehow. Like, our Uber driver, of course, he's like, oh yeah, no, I do post production, I
Yeah.
edit things. It's just like, of course you do.
Every Uber driver I've ever had in LA has been in the business in some degree.
So we Ubered over to where the studio was,
Right.
and in typical LA fashion, you get out and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
We look like we're in the middle of nowhere. There's just a bunch of alleys everywhere, and then we see this place. We're like, all right, cool. We go in, and then it's just this beautiful studio.
Yeah, it was. I believe
Beautiful
the production
studio
was mounted
space.
at a place called Stage This, which I'm sure you're seeing B-roll of right now. And yeah, it was
the same
gorgeous.
studio that they've shot Katy Perry music videos, Britney Spears music videos, and now a commercial featuring Tim Geddes and Nick Scarpino.
So what you're basically saying, Tim, is aside from being Disney kids, which we are already,
we actually are.
we're also on the same level as Katy Perry and Britney Spears.
Yeah, that is very true.
I think that's a fair assumption and fair giant jump to make.
So we get there, and day one was for wardrobe, and we
Yes.
thought it was going to take an hour because that's what they said.
Right.
But you always need to understand that what is said and what reality is of production are two very different things.
Right.
We ended up being there for like 6 hours trying on a bunch of clothes, and a lot of people would complain about that, but not me and you.
No,
we just
we
do
got
it. We wanted to make sure it was right.
The best part about it was the wardrobe person, the 2 wardrobe people that were there were very nice and handed us both dance belts.
If you don't know what a dance belt is,
Google
please
it.
explain it for the people, Nick.
Dance belt is essentially a device that is very small. There's an undergarment that's very small, and it is designed to keep everything right where it needs to be
Looking
and
flat.
out of sight.
So if you're wearing spandex, you're not seeing any. You're not seeing too much.
We're keeping
detail.
it G-rated, so to speak, right? Because we're wearing spandex, we were wearing thin shorts over the spandex, but still, you don't want there to be any opportunity for anyone to catch a glimpse of something that they don't necessarily need to be looking at.
But pretty much we put on the dance belts, and then we tried on a bunch of different outfits, and then we'd have to go strut in front of all the big execs and stuff. And our friend Nicole, who is a longtime friend of yours.
Longtime friend of mine.
Married them.
I married her and her husband Anthony. We used to work together at IGN, and so this is we got the hook up through that, where she reached out and said, "Hey, I'd love to work with you guys on this. People here like your guys' stuff. You have a certain vibe that we're looking for." Which was great, and so we agreed to it. Yeah, and so she was there, and she's always the one in life, period, that I want to impress. Even if I'm not around her or doing anything, I think to myself, what would Nicole do?
Yeah.
I actually rather think, what would Nicole like?
Yeah.
And then I do
and
that.
we showed her everything. We came out in different outfits, and they were like, we don't like this.
Now, I want to say
There
this,
we
not
go.
to make it a competition again. You came out 3 times. I came out twice.
It's true.
And I nailed my outfit on the second time.
It's true. I didn't have anything to say because trust me, I would have worn blue at the end of it.
I'll tell you what, they put me
You got in blue, and I'm so jealous
They
of you,
put
Nick.
me in blue because they know that I'm the champ, the true champ, and they put me also in a pullover sort of windbreaker, which I think my Uncle Lou in Jersey owns.
Well,
my
my
uncle was
favorite
almost
thing-
100 years old probably at this point, and he owned he owned like every iteration of that pullover. You know, the pullover hoodie with like the little bit of zipper. It's like no one's
great.
unzipping. No one's zipping that thing.
You ended up looking like a true 80s villain, so I appreciate that a lot.
great.
We eventually finished the wardrobe, and we're like, cool, let's go get lunch. Where did we go?
Where did we go for lunch that day? Wait.
Wood something?
Oh, Wood Ranch.
Wood Ranch.
Yeah, we went to Wood Ranch for lunch because my wife loves the sweet potato mash that they have there. And every year when we used to go down for Thanksgiving, we would stop by Wood Ranch and get a giant tub of sweet potato mash, and we'd serve that.
So that was fun, just me and you hanging out, doing
tasty.
Tim and Nick things. Then we're like, let's go check into the hotel. Where did we
Right.
check in?
We checked in. Well, we didn't have a hotel at first because the trip came about so quickly that we were at Wood Ranch, and I was like, we should probably book a hotel. We had driven past a Holiday Inn, like business,
Chilling at the
and I'm like,
Holiday
well,
Inn.
that's a walkable distance, and I don't feel like getting another Uber and talking to them.
And
about
there's
their
a
post-production
Starbucks on the
careers,
way.
and there's a Starbucks on the way. So I was like, this makes sense. It checks out. Booked that. It was great. Smelled a little like it's a little too old. Like maybe they need to clean some stuff, but I'm not complaining.
That's part of the experience.
It is part of the
though.
experience. You want a tactility to it.
But
your
then,
hotels.
so we were just hanging out. We're like, we have a really early call time tomorrow. We had to be
6:30
there.
call time.
Yeah, we had to be there really early. But we're like, you know what? There's a lot of good comedy here. You've always talked about this, the comedy
store. Yeah, so that was part of the fun. Was like we got there at I think we were wrapped by like 4. We were able to grab some food, and then we were talking about who we wanted to hang out with, and I was like, well, they have great lineups at the Comedy Store, and you're like, let's do it. And so went over to the Comedy Store. I just booked a ticket, which randomly I didn't think you could, but it was a Tuesday night, so we were able to get a seat and saw a great
So we were just
lineup.
hanging out in the front of it for a while.
If you don't know the Comedy Store, there's the bar. It's actually on Sunset, so you can walk from right off the street into the bar. It's like an outdoor patio. And Tim and I were out there having a cocktail, and who did we see?
Adi Shankar.
Adi
Just
Shankar.
hanging out. Just, hey, what's
Adi
up,
Shankar
dude?
just hanging out like right there, and I was like, hey, and he's like, hey, man. And that was it.
And that was it. We had a
was
good
cool.
time. Then we watched the showcase, and there was a lot more heavy hitters than I expected to
it
see
was
on
like
Tuesday
it
night.
was like Chris D'Elia,
Bobby Lee,
Ali
Wong.
Eric Griffin, Theo Vaughn, Theo Vaughn, excuse me, not Theo Vaughn. That's not how you say his name.
It was great.
And a bunch of other people. I forgot who else
I had
was
a
there.
blast. It was super funny. It was fun hanging out there with you. Then we went home, got some of that quality shut eye. You know what I mean?
I fell asleep.
Had to wake up so early. I think we had to be at set at 7.
7 a.m. was our call
Wake
time,
up
which is
super
early, yeah.
And then we shot the scenes with you first because you're just at the end of the commercial.
Yeah, I am the butt of the joke. Like I'm the pun. I'm what a lot of people consider the best part of the commercial.
True.
So we did what happened was they had about 100 extras there. They were all checking in when we arrived. And
100 extras, by the way.
Yeah, so they had this whole stadium set up, kind of like filled with bleachers around this podium where all the action was supposed to happen. And so they had arranged the shoot day, rightly so, to get the extras out as quickly as possible because sitting there for 10 hours is not especially it can be a little grueling, especially when you're dealing with a bunch of extras that don't have anything to focus on other than like what they're supposed to be doing. So I think the director and the producers made a strong call there, bring all them in first. And of
it over
course,
with.
my scenes happen with them, and so as the commercial ends, you see me. We did all of those. I think conservatively, I knocked them out of the park first take every single time, but they did 5, 6, 7 more takes after that anyway. I think just for safety.
So you were wrapped at around like noon-ish.
I wrapped, I think I went from, I think I was about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
It was originally the AD had told me the prior day, hey, maybe you'll probably be wrapped around 10. I wrapped, it took a couple hours longer, of course, because that's just what happens. But yeah, I was wrapped. I got out of my dance belt, wanted to burn the thing, and I'd only been wearing it for 4 hours. I wanted to take it and just slingshot it into the moon. I don't ever need that to be around
it was
ever again.
rank, I think is a good word.
Well, mine,
to
I mean,
use.
mine was pleasant still.
I'm speaking about mine, and it was
Yeah.
not, we skipped something, Nick, and something that's
skip?
very key, which was makeup. There's nothing that makes you feel fancier than when you're sitting in a room and someone comes up to you and it's one of those, just a bunch of mirrors and a bunch of those like light bulb looking things. I'm like, this is so Hollywood.
It's so Hollywood.
And they just do a bunch of stuff. There's pattern stuff. I don't really know what they're doing. Every once in a while they tell me to look up or close my eyes.
Right.
I'm just like, all right, I have no idea what's happening. But you really do feel special when throughout the entire day there were multiple people. Like there was 2 wardrobe people and 1 makeup person who, after they did their job in the beginning, their sole job was to just sit there the whole day and look at you
and watch you
and make sure that everything's right.
Yep.
So people just like walk up to me and like move my little
your little what are the
fanny pack,
yeah,
you know, or like touch up the makeup. I'm like, wow, this is insane, and we do not deserve this.
No,
not
absolutely
at all.
not. Every time it happened, I giggle to myself. I'm like, if this is the last time this happens for us, I'm enjoying it.
It was worth it.
It's
totally
worth it.
worth
It's totally worth it.
Then, so you got to leave. I had to stay all day.
Yeah, I had to leave. I had to run a couple. Actually, got a chance to run a couple errands in LA that I had to be doing anyway, which was great. And I came back, I think around 7.
So we just finished the first 7 hours of the day. We were about to take a 1-hour lunch and then get right back to it. I'll get right back in the costume, and then we do another 5 hours. We'll see how this goes.
So I left at around 1. I ate dinner with, I ate lunch with the crew. I ate lunch with all you guys, and then I left, and then I came back. Now I'd meant to come back at 5, but the traffic took so long coming back from what I had to do that it was obscene.
So meanwhile, while you're doing all that, I'm in the studio doing a bunch of shoots. It's kind of the getting ready segment of a commercial.
Yeah.
So I get my own chair. Didn't have LaCroix, but they do have this talking rain. You're gonna see what this is all about.
Yeah.
So it's me suiting up for the championship.
Zipping up,
It's
glasses,
very,
all
very
that stuff.
Edgar Wright. The
Yeah.
commercial, when it's done, is going to be a lot of like, that was a lot of the direction where everything was in like a lot of like really jumpy and cutty motions. But it was just random things. Like there's one point I'm popping balloons or like turning light switches on really fast, shuffling cups around, bowling balls, fidget spinners.
The theme was everything in 3s, right? That's how the game works. Like you collect, like you have to match 3.
It's a match 3 game.
Yeah, it's a match 3 game. So the theme was let's embrace that and let's shoot the champ, nailing matching 3. And they did a lot of really cool stuff, especially with some of the effects work.
Most of it was like practical.
Yeah,
yeah.
is
So I
cool.
can't wait to see the actual commercial come out. It should be in early December.
Yeah,
and we shot on an Ari, which is a beautiful camera.
Shot an Ari Mini.
And the lens was insane. It was like bigger than Gia.
Yeah, I have a picture of that. I can't remember what lens system they used. I want to say it was a Panavision lens system, but they were using a zoom lens because that's how you get those snap zooms. So they can do it by hand, but it was actually like, what was cool about it was the pro setups are really awesome. They have 2 servo mounts for it. One for focus pulling, which the focus puller sat, actually, I don't know if you noticed that or not, but he was sitting in Video Village all day actually pulling focus, so we didn't have to be by the camera. And then they had another servo on it for the zoom, but they took that off, so the DP, Dallas, his name is Dallas, could slam those snap zooms.
Well, what was really cool too is there was one time they did an effect where I was
crash
staring
zooms,
at the
that's what you
camera
wanna call 'em.
and put on my glasses and like jolted off. And as they did it, they did the same effect that they used in Jaws, where the
Dolly
camera
in.
is physically dollying towards you while they're zooming.
Like pulling out.
They're pulling out and zooming away. So it creates this really uneasy feeling of you being in focus and everything looks like it's going like that.
Yeah.
And it's super cool. I can't wait to see this, man. The project was a lot of fun. I think it's going to be super great. My favorite thing is I'm now officially a Disney kid.
Yep.
And they asked me personally to do the Disney wand thing. I'm Tim Geddes, and you're watching Disney. So I did that.
They did not ask you.
I asked you
That
to
was
film me
actually
do it.
not a part of the terms that we had agreed upon. You said, Nick, 5 times that day. You're like, we have to do this.
Please.
We did it one time. It didn't work because the whole set was bathed in red light.
Yeah.
And you look like the bad guy from Tron. But then we finally
nailed it,
nailed
though.
it.
We finally
Did you end
nailed
up
it.
actually putting that out? Did anyone ever?
Well,
do it?
it's going to be in this. And then
Okay, cool.
after that, we went, got back on the plane. It got delayed. That wasn't so much fun. But then when we got back here, we still had to do a Let's Play. So we did that, and that was a great time. That was just like a normal day in the life of us where nothing makes sense, and it's just a new challenge every 5 minutes.
Was it?
But it was a lot of fun. Stay tuned for the commercial. Like I said, early December. We're going to be doing some cool things too, where we're going to do a commentary track over the video when it's done. So like,
show you guys kind of how everything was done. Break it down a little bit more. I think it'll be fun. Yeah.
So then, if you like these type of vlogs and stuff of us kind of documenting our different adventures, let us know in the comments below. We want to do more of them. We're trying out a bunch of different styles. So yeah, let us know what you like about this, what you don't like. And until next time, I love you. Let Tim host.